Pacquiao and Adrien Broner are two of the biggest names in boxing, but their personalities couldn't be more different. An 8-division champion and future Hall of Famer, Pacquiao is literally a statesman in and out of the ring. To further extend his legacy, Pacman wants to prove he's still one of the best in the talent-rich 147-pound weight class. With brash and bling, 29-year-old Broner is a former 4-division champ. Despite this, he still needs a career-defining victory to legitimize his claims of being an elite fighter. Today, both fighters weigh in, then stare down before their big fight here in Las Vegas.
It's a big fight with a big fight atmosphere. It is beautiful. It is brutal. It is boxing at its best. What a fight!
Welcome to the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas. For this Showtime Boxing Special Edition, it's the official weigh-in for the first big fight of 2019, featuring two of the biggest names in the sport, Manny Pacquiao versus Adrien Broner. We are live inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. You know, it's been over 2 years since Manny Pacquiao has fought here in the States, and nearly 3 years since he's fought inside this arena. But the fans, look at them. They were here early before the doors opened, clamoring just to get a good seat to see these two big stars of boxing. Let's take a look at the full lineup coming your way on Showtime pay-per-view Saturday night. Besides Manny Pacquiao, Adrien Broner squaring off in the main event. The co-main features former 2-division champion Badou Jack battling the undefeated top contender Marcus Brown. The winner, he finds himself in line for a world title shot. Also, former world champion Rashid Warren has a score to settle against a man he faced in the Olympics, Francis Nordine Ubali, for the vacant WBC bantamweight belt. And the night kicks off with the unbeaten Jack Tapora taking on former world champion Hugo Ruiz in a 12-round featherweight bout. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Custer. Welcome to this Showtime Boxing Special Edition presentation of the weigh-in for Pacquiao versus Broner. Now, part of what makes this main event so intriguing is that you will not find two more divergent personalities who bring so much skill to the ring. On one hand, you've got the future Hall of Famer Manny Pacquiao, not only boxing's only 8-division world champion, he's a much-loved senator in the Philippines. But it's in the ring where he's become a legend by beating some of the best with his volume punching and stay busy style. And then there's Adrien Broner, the unapologetic, brash, talented fighter who has won titles in 4 divisions by employing his athletic gifts. But against the very best, Broner has a tendency to be outworked, lose focus, which many believe has kept him from reaching his true potential. Boxing at its core is a physical debate between two diametrically opposed points of view. And in the prelude to any big fight, there are fighters who make an art out of tough talk.
Y'all got me fucked up if y'all think I'm about to lose to Manny Pacquiao, man. I'm about to beat his motherfucking ass.
And those who let their actions speak loud and clear in the ring. Manny Pacquiao has had plenty of indelible moments in his storied career, but since 2016, boxing's only 8-division champ has added another job title to his illustrious resume, Senator Pacquiao.
I enter politics because I want to help more people.
The revered statesman in both his nation's Senate and his chosen sport, Manny has returned to the roots of his success, reuniting with Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach. And in Adrien Broner, Manny has found a dangerous opponent, a man with a lot to say and a lot to prove.
Yeah, that's me.
With titles in 4 divisions before the age of 27, Broner was heralded as the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather, but he hasn't fulfilled early expectations of greatness, especially when facing elite opposition.
Everything that happened in the past, I wouldn't change it, because that's who made me who I am today.
Determined to get back in the discussion of boxing's best, Broner hired no-nonsense trainer Kevin Cunningham in 2017. And it seems that the problem is working harder than ever to fulfill his promise. But the welterweight division is stacked with some of the best and brightest names in the sport, and there's no room for pretenders here. Clearly, it's now or not at all for Broner.
Do this shit for the hood.
So when the bell rings, it's more than simply the hero versus the villain and the legend versus the letdown. Real fights are never quite that simple to label.
You get in my space, I can shoot my shot.
Finally, the moment is here, and now, Pacman versus The Problem.
I'm gonna win convincingly.
Facing off for the WBA welterweight crown. The talk will end, and the real debate will begin.
Ugly, cute, it don't matter. We gonna get the win.
We'll see.
Well, joining me live, of course, my guys, they'll be calling all the action Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. That's the voice, Showtime Championship Boxing, Mauro Ranallo. That's the Hall of Famer, Al Bernstein. And that's the former 2-time world champion, Paulie Malignaggi. And Mo, let me start with you, because what do you think of a win for either one of these guys means for the 147-pound division?
Well, for Manny Pacquiao, fighting for the first time as a 40-year-old, he has nothing left to prove, and yet he wants to continue to not only inspire but prove to everyone and himself that he still has what it takes nearly a quarter of a century into his professional career to prove that he is one of the best at the best weight class in the sport. Of course, a victory in impressive fashion over Broner. And you know Pacquiao's going to be sniffing around looking for that rematch with Floyd Mayweather, wanting to take Money Mayweather out of retirement. And if that doesn't come to fruition, now that he's signed with PBC, it opens up an embarrassment of riches, the potential to fight current titleist Earl Spence Jr. We've got, of course, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. Now, conversely, for Adrien Broner, one more chance to prove that he's something more than a high-profile gatekeeper. If he is laser-focused, if he's able to finally realize what many people believe is an amazing potential, tomorrow night's the night to do it. He wants that career-defining win. He could get it against Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, both these guys got a lot to prove, they say. As you pointed out, what Adrien Broner has to prove, and Manny says he wants to prove to everyone that he is still elite. Let's talk about Manny Pacquiao. He is now 40, and you know, Al, when you get to that age, especially in this sport, you got to do some things differently, and it seems like Manny's made some changes in his camp for this fight.
Yeah, one of the refrains is everything old is new again, because he is back with Freddie Roach, who is now a co-trainer with Buboy Fernandez, and they have devised in their camp much of what was done in the previous camp, and that is to make a nod to the fact that he is 40 years of age and tailor the training so that he has more time to rest, that he can recuperate a little bit better, and they think by doing that they've created the best 40-year-old they can in Manny Pacquiao, and they think he is ready to go. And several of the sparring partners have suggested Pacquiao's hitting very hard.
Yeah, you're right about that. I was surprised that he feels like he says he's hitting harder now than he has in the past. Guess we'll find out Saturday night. All right, let's talk a little bit about Adrien Broner here, Paulie, because it seemed at 130, 135, he was dominant. But once he's gotten to 140 pounds, especially over, he's just 3-2-1. With the win over Pacquiao, though, do you think that perception that he's an underachiever at this weight goes away overnight?
Well, you know, I don't think it's a secret that at this point, if he gets a win over Manny Pacquiao, he's had a career where he's had ups, downs. He's always competed, and he's always competed at a very high level from a very young age. But I really believe that when he's when he's in this fight and if he's able to get a victory here and look good doing it, I really think it can right a lot of the wrongs of his past and really make people start to believe that he is coming into his own and living up to the hype, so to speak. I really think that Pacquiao is not a natural 147-pounder. I think Broner has trouble with natural 147-pounders. The physicality, the size kind of bothers him. But guys who are natural 140, 135-pounders, even if they've moved up, and Pacquiao is that, I think it gives Broner a better chance to compete. The fight may still be competitive. I mean, he lost to Mikey Garcia. He had a draw against Jesse Vargas. He had a split decision with Manny. He lost to Marcos Maidana. But nonetheless, all those fights he's competing aside from the Garcia fight, and he gives himself a chance to compete against a guy the size of Pacquiao. Now he's just got to get his hands off.
Yeah, you know, Adrien Broner said, in his opinion, a win over Manny Pacquiao, he becomes a legend overnight. We'll find out Saturday night. Well, let me tell you something. The crowd here at the Grand Garden Arena is ready. The fighters understand they're ready to make their walk to the stage, step on the scale. Let's get this thing started. Here's the Hall of Fame ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Premier Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for the main event of the evening, brought to you by MP Promotions, Mayweather Promotions, and TGB Promotions, in association with About Billions Promotions and Showtime. We are sponsored by Wow Pilipinas Party Time, Tecate, the official beer of boxing, Hublot, the art of fusion, and Limitless Performance, real people, real life, real results. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the boxers to the stage for our main event of the evening, 12 rounds of action for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing first the challenger from Cincinnati, Ohio, making his 10th world title appearance. Here is one of boxing's biggest draws, the former 4-division champion of the world, Adrien "The Problem" Broner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring up the defending champion for the Sarangani province in the Philippines. An icon of the sport, a legend of boxing, boxing's only 8-division world champion. Here is the WBA welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacman Pacquiao.
Taking stuff off of me, buddy. Right here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite our fighters to the scale at this time as the welterweight championship of the world. The weight limit is 147 pounds. We extend first the honor to the challenger and WBA number 6 ranked contender. Here is boxing's youngest ever 4-division world champion to the scale, Adrien "The Problem" Broner.
Stay out of the square there.
146 and a half.
Adrien Broner weighs in at 146 and 1/2 pounds. 146 and a half for the challenger. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the future Hall of Famer, the current Senator of the Philippines, the defending and reigning WBA welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacman Pacquiao.
Yo, muscles. Thanks. Thank you, Senator. 146.
Manny Pacquiao weighs in at a ready 146 pounds. 146 for the champion.
You got to get him dressed for the face-off. Guys, back up, back up. He's got to get dressed. There he goes. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Paul. Watch your back.
Dave.
She's cool.
What was Manny?
Well, as we get ready for this stare down, Adrien Broner coming in at 146.5. Manny Pacquiao at 146. Goes to welterweight. Weight limit at 147. Both men coming in underweight as they get ready to face off.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fight. This is the last time they'll see each other before they meet in the center of the ring tomorrow night. It's the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World.
Just in case you're wondering, the last time Manny Pacquiao weighed in at 146, July of last year when he faced Lucas Matisse. For Adrien Broner, last time he tipped the scale at 146, well, that was back in February, 2 years ago when he faced Adrian Granados. How both fighters look good.
They do, and Manny Pacquiao typically smiling at the face-off.
Adrien Broner, very intense, Mo.
Adrien Broner looks phenomenal. This is a guy who habitually blows up in between fights, and say what you will about his boorish behavior, his mounting legal problems. He is focused in camp, his second camp with Kevin Cunningham, and judging by the way he looks on the stage right now, it appears that he is definitely ready to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Let's go down to the stage. Our Jim Gray is with the champion, Manny Pacquiao.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Manny, you've had a lot of face-offs. Usually you're not smiling. Why the big smile?
Yeah, I'm just smiling. I'm happy to be back here and happy to have a fight tonight, tomorrow night.
Manny, it may be the weekend for 40-year-olds. We got Drew Brees playing in the National Football Conference Championship. Tom Brady at 41 playing in the American Football Conference Championship. You at 40 fighting here at the MGM. Is your age any factor in this fight, and has it been in your training camp?
It's just a number. Doesn't matter. I'm 40 years old. I feel still young, and tomorrow I have something to prove. That at the age of 40 I can still give my best.
And do you have to fight? Is your legacy on the line each time you fight?
I'm sorry?
Is your legacy and what you've accomplished on the line every time you fight?
Yes, it's my legacy to give a good fight and to accomplish all this, and especially at the age of 40. This is my first fight at the age of 40, so I had to prove something, that Manny Pacquiao is still there in the path of boxing.
And how much, Manny, has it helped you to have Freddie Roach back?
It's helped a lot, and I mean, I'm so happy because the team is united, and they're very cooperated in their teamwork. So, and especially the result of this training camp, we're so happy and satisfied of our condition.
Last thought, to have all these fans here to see you, what does that mean to you?
Oh, I'm so thankful to these fans who come here, and tomorrow we're going to watch the fight. Thank you so much, my fellow Filipino. Thank you for all your support.
Best of luck, Manny. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.
All right, thank you.
All right, Brian, back upstairs to you.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. So Manny Pacquiao, always smiling, ready, as he says, at the age of 40. He has a lot to prove to show that you can still be elite and fight at a high level. At that age, we go back down to the stage because Jim Gray is with his opponent, Adrien Broner. Jim?
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Here with Adrien Broner. Adrien, what does this opportunity represent to you tomorrow night?
Shit, first of all, I feel good. All my street niggas in the building. Yes, sir.
And how about the opportunity?
It's a hell of an opportunity, man. You know, like I said before, man, I ain't just doing this for me. I'm doing this shit for the hood.
Do you feel as though this is a career-defining moment? A victory over Manny Pacquiao would catapult you to another level?
Of course, man. After I win tomorrow night, man, I'll be legend overnight, man.
What are you going to have to do to win this fight?
Just do me.
Meaning?
You'll see tomorrow night.
Thank you, Adrien. Best of luck.
All right, hey, I love y'all, man. Thanks for coming out to support me, man. I got y'all. Let's get it.
All right, Brand. Upstairs to you.
Jim, thank you very much. Back here live with my guys. Of course, they'll be calling all the action on Showtime pay-per-view come Saturday night. Mauro Ranallo, Al Bernstein, Paulie Malignaggi. And Paulie, let me start with you. Adrien Broner seems focused, ready. What do you think?
You know, you look good on the scales. Obviously, the story has to tell inside the ring. You know, we say how good he looks on the scales, but I don't think he's ever not made weight when he's fought this heavy at welterweight, you know. The problem has been the actual weight class. But like I said earlier, you know, Pacquiao has been a guy who's come up in weight, so I think the size is kind of natural for both of them. They're a little smaller than this weight class, so I think they'll kind of, their styles will kind of gel together pretty well, and it'll just come down to the tactics in the ring. But he looks good, he looks ready, and he looks focused.
Al, what'd you think as the fighters got on the scale and what you heard from them?
Yeah, you know, I think what we saw was vintage Manny Pacquiao. It reminds me of when Evander Holyfield was coming in to fight Tyson, he was singing. That's the way Manny Pacquiao is. These two men motivated in a very, very different way. Adrien Broner, as we heard there, he's a different way of motivating himself, but I think both fighters are ready.
You know, that's interesting, Mo, because Manny Pacquiao obviously going to be a crowd favorite in this fight tomorrow. A number of people from the Philippines are here. But, you know, Adrien Broner said that. He said, listen, I'm an inner city kid. I'm doing this one for the hood. And it has resonated with folks. I mean, there are a number of people here who are like, yeah, I'm from the inner city. I'm going for Adrien Broner.
Yeah, both of them are doing it for their respective hoods, Brian, if you will, because Manny Pacquiao, a former street urchin who came up from abject poverty, just like Adrien Broner, both of them saved by the sport of boxing, and it's now up to them to put everything else aside. We are now less than 20 or less than a day away from just fully realizing what the truth is. Are we going to see more of the Manny Pacquiao of old, or will he become old Pacman, and will Adrien Broner finally get those engines started right off the earlier in the first round?
Absolutely, and both of them claim they're going for the knockout. Manny Pacquiao said that, and Adrien Broner says he darts in there, I'm going to counter him and put him to sleep. Al, why don't you walk us through the numbers and the tail of the tape?
Yeah, obviously some intriguing numbers here. The one that jumps out, and we've talked about it on this show a lot, the fact that Manny Pacquiao is 11 years older, and Broner, though he's fought for a long time, still south of 30 years of age. But the numbers I want to point out, and they are important, are the height and reach advantage of Broner. When Adrien Broner has had a height and reach advantage, he has done much better in fights. And this could be important to him, even though, as you know, Pacquiao's the true welterweight, but as Paulie pointed out, the dimensions show that Pacquiao's truly a fighter from smaller weight classes that has gone up to welterweight.
Well, say what you want about these guys. Adrien Broner in world title fights is 8-1, and you might be surprised that, you know, Manny Pacquiao has fought more fights at welterweight in his entire career than anything. Well, I'll tell you what, both of these guys, when you talk about our main event, it is not the only fight on the docket. Of course, we got a couple of other fights, 3 other fights, and more importantly, the co-main event, because you've got Badou Jack taking on a really good up-and-comer in Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown feels like it is his time to take over the light heavyweight division. Meanwhile, you have a former 2-division champ in Badou Jack who wants another title. Both of these guys want to reach the peak of the light heavyweight division. A fighter's career at times is an uphill climb in search of motivation, purpose, and validation. Badou Jack has come to terms that you must first find solace in the journey in order to obtain success.
A mountain to me is, you know, like almost like a career. You start from the bottom all the way to the top. I mean, it's high altitude. It's not easy. You really gotta dig down deep. 99% of your opponents not running up there 6 in the morning. If I can do that, a fight, 12-round fight is easy. I'm a silent assassin. When I get in the ring, it's all business. So, I mean, this is what I train for my family, for my legacy. So I don't have to brag. I don't have to talk trash. My religion, Islam, taught me all about being humble. I'll show you in the ring. I'm focusing on Marcus Brown. This is just another fight against a hungry young guy. It's a little different. Normally, I fight this champions or whatever. He's a young up-and-coming fighter. He never been on this level, but he's still a very good fighter. We'll find out, what he's about for real. I definitely have to make a statement in this fight. The judges don't gonna do me no favors. Don't underestimate nobody. That's what I learned, from experience.
Jack knows that resiliency and dedication have been the two pillars in his lengthy career. For undefeated light heavyweight contender Marcus Brown, serenity is the key component that fuels his quest for validation.
Tried to, leave my safe haven and my comfort zone, which is New York City, the hustle and bustle of the city. The Olympic Training Center is based out here, so, after being a 2012 Olympian, I feel like, it's only right. This is the perfect time for me personally. This is what I've been working for my whole career. I'm just locked in. 6 years in, I'm tired of fighting these guys that don't get me up. Badou Jack is a guy that's woken me up. Very strong fighter, strong-minded, gritty, but we got a great game plan to dissect everything that he's willing to bring to the table. I will be victorious regardless. I feel like his time has passed. I'm ready to bring that pizzazz to the light heavyweight division because these guys are boring. Life is about seasons, and it's my season right now. God, does everything for reasons, so maybe I wasn't ready then, but I know I'm damn sure ready now. My destiny will be fulfilled on the 19th.
For one of these men, his goal will manifest, and his trek to the peak will continue. The other must embrace the realization that a new climb is inevitable. It's our co-main coming your way Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. Well, a fighter you will see on Showtime Championship Boxing come in February is down on the stage with our Jim Gray. Jim?
Indeed he is. The Super Featherweight Championship, WBA version, will be on the line as Tank Davis will fight at the StubHub Center down in Carson, California on February 9th against Abner Mares. How is your training going for that fight?
Training camp going great. I'm trying to stay focused, to put on a great performance for the fans, give them a very action-packed fight, and please them.
And you're hoping to fight 3 times this year. You've been a little inactive in the past. Is that still your goal as we get in here into January, into February?
God willing, I'm trying to fight 3 times a year. Me and my team have an agreement that I will fight 3 times a year. If we get past Abner, I want to put on a great performance in them 3 years and hopefully, aim for pay-per-view by 2020, 2021.
So much potential, came so early, and now it's slowed down just a little bit. So to get on track, what do you have to do?
Just stay focused, be humble, put on great performance, come ready, come ready at all times, and February 9th I will show it.
And Abner Mares, so one thing we know, he's going to throw a lot of punches. How do you prepare for that?
Throw a lot of punches with him, pick my shots, I'm much quicker, much faster, more explosive. So just outthink him in the ring and things like that, and capitalize off his bad mistakes.
Who do you think will win tomorrow night's fight between Manny Pacquiao and Adrien Broner?
I believe there's a 50-50 chance of Adrien and Manny. I believe that both of them.
That's not saying anything. Come on, you're champion. What do you think, champ? 50-50. We can flip a coin. Give us your expertise.
I believe that Adrien is, he's taking this serious. I think he knows that this is chance that he can't mess it up. So I'm edging with Adrien because he knows what's going on. He understands.
Tank, you're a lot of fun to watch. We look forward to February 9th. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Brian, back upstairs to you.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. Joined again by my guys. And, Tank knows Adrien very well. They've trained together, especially early on for this fight. So interesting perspective. You'll see him in February. We saw the feature. Badou Jack here, Marcus Brown. These two weighed in earlier today, and it got a little testy between these. A lot on the line for this fight because the winner in line for a world title shot.
Yeah, surprisingly tested because we haven't seen that kind of discord as we've led up to this. However, Remember, when they got on the scale, there's Marcus Brown, former Olympian, undefeated. This is a major challenge for him, stepping up against clearly the best fighter that he has faced. And Badou Jack, two-time champion, a 35-year-old who has fought 6 straight former or current world champions. And yes, when they got looking at each other, things got a little bit angry. And Badou Jack's not a trash talker, and he's kind of smiling as he's doing that. But things got a little concerning here as they started shoving and pushing each other around. And I do believe this is going to be a spectacular fight.
Yeah, you know, it was interesting because Marcus Brown said he took offense that Badou Jack said, you haven't been at this level. And he said, you haven't fought a fighter like me. So that's going to be a really interesting co-main. Another fight that we'll see on the pay-per-view card, Rasheed Warren, former champion, 3 times, the only U.S. Olympic boxer 3 times, is tremendous. He will be in the ring taking on France's Nordine Ubali. This is a really fascinating fight because they fought in the Olympics, Paul.
It's a grudge match. Ubali eliminated Warren at the Olympics and one of the 3 Olympic games that Warren competed at. And I think Warren has revenge on his mind, and it's revenge at the highest level if he can get it. It's revenge in a world championship fight with really all the marbles in their professional careers going. But I love the way both guys looked on the scale. They both look confident. They both look ready, and even not just physically, but also mentally. You know, you can always tell the way guys just have that demeanor about them on the scale, how confident they're feeling, and I love the way both guys look. They weren't just physically ready, but they were ready to get at each other mentally as well. And it's a long time coming. I mean, I'm sure Warren's been waiting for this rematch for a long time.
Yes, he has.
And Ubali feels very confident because he beat him once.
Yeah, and Ubali, of course, making his U.S. debut. So he says he not only wants to look spectacular, but win a world title in that debut. And then, as I talked about at the top of the show, we'll begin the night, we thought, with Jack Toporek taking on Hugo Ruiz. But we had drama at the weigh-in, Mo.
Yeah, boy, did we ever. Jack Toporek getting another amazing opportunity to fight on the same card as his mentor, his promoter, Manny Pacquiao. Back when Pacquiao knocked out Matisse last year, Toporek was in the co-feature in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Here he comes in 5.5 pounds over the 126-pound limit. Yesterday it was reported that he had another 6 pounds to lose. Obviously, he didn't do that. And in hindsight, maybe we know the reason why. Why struggle to make the weight if you know you're not going to make it? Maybe pay a little extra to make the fight happen, but it's not going to happen because Hugo Ruiz said, thanks, but no thanks. Jack Toporek is off the card, but in comes Alberto Guevara. You'll remember that he challenged Leo Santa Cruz back in 2012 on Showtime. Guevara 27-3. If he makes the 126-pound limit, then he will face Hugo Ruiz in our pay-per-view opener, but it's not the fight we were all looking forward to. Toporek, 6 knockouts in a row.
On a streak.
Both of them. Hugo Ruiz, known for being in fights of the year. It was going to be a featherweight fireworks display. We still might get it, but it won't involve Toporek.
So Toporek out, Guevara in. That will be the first fight of the night. So why don't we put a bow on what we saw here today? Let's start with you, Bo.
Well, I'm just grateful that both, Broner and Pacquiao made weight because we didn't want to ruin that main event. And to me, as a boxing fan, I just take extra moment to just soak it all in that we are seeing a living legend. A man who, like Muhammad Ali and precious few others, Manny Pacquiao, has transcended the sport to be a global icon. Yes, he's 40. Yes, he's past his prime. We still get to see him with the best seats in the house.
Yeah, you see Adrien Broner with his children and the Manny Pacquiao. Hey, we've waited in. I can get to eat now.
Get those carbs in you, Manny Pacquiao says. You know, I think one of the stories here in a way was Adrien Broner because he had an intensity about him, and he's always going to be flamboyant. He's always going to say some things that make people stand back.
Yeah.
But there was a kind of focus about him at this weigh-in that I think bodes well. And as Paulie pointed out, you can't tell from the weight, you can't tell from any of this because he has had fights before where maybe the training didn't go well. But Kevin Cunningham and Mike Stafford feel this really was a good training camp. So for Adrien Broner, I think what we saw today was enough intensity and control in a way to show us that he's very serious about this fight.
Absolutely. Listen, we never, ever had any concerns that Manny Pacquiao wasn't going to make weight. But even if he didn't, we could always put Al Bernstein against Adrien Broner. I think that's a matchup I'd like to see considering what happened this week. Paulie, give me your final thoughts.
My final thoughts, I'm still excited about the card. I like Brown and Jack fight as well.
Really
we saw some bad blood there. I think that has a potential to steal the show. I love both guys. It's kind of hard for me on an emotional level to watch those guys because I know Marcus from the amateurs when he was coming up the ladder. And I know Badu for a lot of years as well. He's done a lot of things for my clothing company, Future Legend, and he's very good friends with my business partner in that way. So, you know, it's a tough fight for me emotionally to see, but I know how good both of these guys are and what's on the line for them, and that combination of those two things, I think, is going to make it a really explosive fight. And that little bad blood at the weigh-in doesn't hurt either to get us hyped up for it.
Here's the one thing, and I'll say this as we wrap up about Badu Jack. It's rare that you say a guy who is 35 years old looks good after every fight.
Yeah, keeps getting better.
Exactly.
His technique is so great, though. That's the thing. You know, even though he's getting older, he's got such good technique, and he's constantly improving that technique and his creativity along with that technique, with the up and down, with the body and the head. I love it.
All right, guys, appreciate it. You guys get some rest here. You got a big night there Saturday night. Hey, for those of you watching us on Showtime, make sure you stay tuned. All Access, Pacquiao versus Broner, episodes 1 and 2, they are coming up next. Well, that's going to do it for this Showtime Boxing Special Edition. My very special thanks to the Hall of Famer, Al Bernstein, Mauro Ranallo, the former world champion Paulie Malignaggi, and Hall of Famer Jim Gray. I'm Brian Custer. See you tomorrow night right here from Las Vegas.